Hello, my amazing viewers, and welcome to another exciting episode of 21st Generation, where youth issues matter the most, with your host, Tikhala Itaye. So, back on track, we have been on a journey of trying to raise 100 million kwacha, reaching 1 million different people. So far, we've seen 8 interviews. Last week we had something a little exclusive with the managing director for Seago Family Foundation. But now we're back on track and we're back on our journey. Here in studio, we have Nandi, our number 9. How does it feel?
Great, Tikhala. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
So, to my viewers, this young man in studio is shining with 20 million kwacha. So there was a national entrepreneurship challenge that has been happening in Malawi called What Will You Do with 20 million kwacha? And this young man came up with an entrepreneurship, right? It's all about entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
he came up with this business idea and walked away with 20 million kwacha to actually realize this idea. So Nandi, we've been hearing about what will you do with 20 million kwacha?
Yeah.
What was this all about? We know it was all about entrepreneurship. So you heard about this challenge, right?
Yes.
Looking for people with brilliant business ideas that can solve different social issues and can also have social impact. I know there was a lot of issues in the past. 21st generation had been talking about high unemployment rates and having to see ideas that can invest in business ideas that can solve social issues and also create jobs as well.
That's correct.
So, Mr. 20 million kwacha,
Yeah.
tell us how you managed to even get into this competition, first of all.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. It's rather strange, I think, from how I got involved. I say that in a way that a friend of mine who had seen the advert says to me, "There's this thing going on. It's definitely not for me because people in the north never win this kind of stuff. So maybe give it a shot."
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I thought, wow, I have this thing. I've had it. I had it for maybe 10, 15 months. And I thought,
so it was still like a fresh idea.
It was a fresh idea.
And the opportunity just walked through your door.
It felt like that.
Yeah.
It felt like that.
Yeah. So you were like, you know what? Let me apply. So before we get further into your idea, what were you doing before?
Yes, I'd been job hopping from job to job over the last 10 years. Been involved in factories, health. I qualified as a health and social worker, but then somehow found myself in the telecommunications industry. And over the last 2 years, I'd worked for Airtel.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
What did you study when you were in university? So I'm sure you've been to university, you've gone through all that, graduated. What did you study?
You'd be surprised I took the shorter version of university. I think coming up from a health background, I think my family is so much into health. My father was a human resource manager for the government. I was good in actually science and maths subjects in school. So the general perception is that you will become a doctor. You should become a doctor. So I tried that route, but found that I was not good with blood, so that put me off.
So you actually had started studying medicine of some sort, but then you pulled.
And then I pulled that.
Yeah.
And then from there it was just try and error. And I'd been on about 3 courses till the funding fell through. So I ended up taking the adult version of school. I was privileged enough to study at Manchester College of Arts and Technology. And then
where is that?
In Manchester.
Oh, wow.
In Manchester.
I should have figured out Manchester. Wow, that's
it's
impressive.
not as glamorous as it sounds.
No, but an opportunity like that for any local young Malawian, you don't always see that. So for you to have gone that far, it was definitely a good opportunity.
It was. Yeah. So somewhere down the line, the funding fell through. So I ended up doing what I call the National Vocational Qualifications, which are an equivalent to a foundational degree. So I studied social work. So that's what I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
From medicine to somewhere in between to social work or all this, but then with all that to agriculture and farming.
Agriculture and farming, yes. Agriculture and farming. Why agriculture and farming? Family.
Yeah.
Like most families in Malawi, we do a bit of agriculture here and there. But my father is, I'd say he he still has this a passion. It's not just a hobby, but it's more or less his lifeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't do it for the commercial market, but just personally. So that rubbed off. I mean, it eventually rubbed off on me. And coming back in Malawi, I had to study, I think, the market, see what's going on. And over the years, agriculture seems to be a constant in terms of economical benefits.
And the opportunities in Malawi are so huge when it comes to agriculture.
Yeah.
So you must be wondering, how did I end up saying agriculture to him? So our 20 million kwacha young man shining in studio on 21st generation here, he had an idea, business idea called Go Loco, which is something to do with agriculture. And it's so interesting because you're hearing how he was in medicine and then he went to Etel, but then now he's in agriculture. But you know what's amazing? Before we get to hear more about the Go Loco production and the big idea that walked away with 20 million kwacha, I want to understand something because, you know, as young people, you know, we always somehow are always so hard on ourselves, you know, because you're saying, okay, I'm studying medicine and this is what I should do and I should finish, but then in the end you're doing something else. But there's no harm in exploring, you know, exploring on what I want to do, what I want to be passionate about, and stepping out and trying different things to only realize what that cool thing is that you want to do the rest of your life.
Correct.
So, you know, it's good to hear, and the viewers even watching to hear that journey, and I'm sure some young people watching, it's something to be inspired about, because sometimes we're so afraid to step out and try different things. And we think, okay, I need to do this and stick to it. But you never know, you might be passionate in something else, and that's what you found.
That's your calling, yeah, sure.
Wow. Let's go into Go Loco.
Yes.
So Go Loco competed against thousands and thousands of applications that came in. People competing for 20 million kwacha to get support capital, to get skills development, to start a business idea that can address social issues. So you made it through that. You were shortlisted to 20 semi-finalists, and then you were top five finalists, and then you're the winner.
Yeah.
So tell us more about Go Loco production.
I must say, firstly, I'm actually humbled by the whole experience. When you look at my other competitors, who are now my friends, they all had winning ideas, and it feels privileged and humbled to have, I think, reached this stage, because any of us would have walked away with it. So when I say Go Loco, coming back from the background that you've mentioned, I think it's a coming together of my experiences from health to agriculture, to the telecommunications industry, which is basically marketing and advertisement. So Go Loco is simply it's almost a call to action. You know, try something local. You know, I'd never tried dried pumpkin leaves in peanut sauce. Now, when I tried them, I thought, wow, this is new. I could tell it's pumpkin, and I could tell it wasn't fresh pumpkin, but it tasted just as good. So my curiosity was aroused and started trying a few things myself. Even opened up a little shop in Mzuzu, just selling dried stuff, dried fruits, dried vegetables. And
this was without machinery, just
without machinery.
Basi, mango, gusenda, packaging, and that's it.
Actually, we're not packaging.
Yeah.
We were not packaging.
Wow.
We just had jars that would keep our stuff, and then we'd just measure them out on the kilo, and then we sell them out like that.
Wow.
We source them from some of the local women that would bring them from far off places into town. So I thought, okay, let's try packaging these things. I think better still, why can't people not produce these things? So it was born from there. Now, again, with some of my other experiences over the last 10 years, I thought this would actually be good for impact. I look at unemployment. When I came back to Malawi, it was difficult getting a job, even with all the experiences that I'd got. It was quite difficult. And I'm thinking this could open up. Now, once I dived into that topic or subject, I found that there's a lot of wastage along the way. So much.
There is a lot.
Visit our local markets. You look at the tomatoes that are wasted, look at the carrots, look at the strawberries, look at all that.
Because, you know, you think about it, what happens to these things when they don't sell them all? You know?
Exactly.
Thrown away or just...
Thrown away, dumped. So, looking into the statistics and into the figures, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations estimated a third of all the food that's produced is lost or wasted. 1/3. 1/3. And
you know, Nandi, that is so scary. Because you look at issues of poverty in Malawi, we have 1/3
wanted, thrown to
Or
the bin.
food just thrown
Gone.
away and not
Gone.
being innovative in terms of how do we
preserve
yeah,
it?
how do we preserve it,
How
you
do
know?
we save some of that
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
from going to waste? So it was from that we thought, okay, this is something. And in financial terms, that is under $1 trillion
Yeah.
is lost across the world, I mean around the world, according to the World Bank. And Malawi's figures are actually more interesting when you look at how much we are wasting.
Yeah.
We are throwing to the bin $142 million.
Wow.
So as an entrepreneur, I'm thinking we can cut a small slice of this pie because it's a huge pie, and if we can cut just a slice of that, I think it was exciting enough.
Yeah.
But then, coming back to my experiences, we built it around our vision. Now the vision was to be an inclusive and a responsible Malawian social enterprise. By being inclusive, we're working closely with smallholder farmers and young entrepreneurs. In fact, we are encouraging emerging entrepreneurs to be involved in that value chain, in that supply chain.
I hope young entrepreneurs that are watching this right now are hearing this, because he's looking for young entrepreneurs who can really join that venture as well and see. I mean, he walked away with 20 million kwacha, so you can be part of that cake as well.
Of course you can.
So
applies to you as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm already seeing, and my ideas are generating. I'm saying I need to find a way to tap into the way you're thinking and the impact that you're going to make as well. Because
Massive.
I mean, the issues of food shortage in Malawi are huge.
Well documented, huge.
And having to have an idea like this is going to have a huge impact on the country. And I'm sure this is something a lot of people are looking forward to. So basically, what you're trying to do is looking to how do we preserve some of this food instead of wasting it.
Yes.
So what are some of the products that we should look out for?
Yes, look out for tomato paste, tomato puree, which you'd be surprised up to now, until us. No one else is doing it.
Yeah.
All of it is
imported.
It's imported. So look out for that. Look out for Malawi's iconic bird's eye chili. We're going to convert that into flakes, which if you store in the right conditions in your pantry, you can store them up to 18 years.
Wow. 18 years.
You won't need ESCOM, which is well documented, the problems that you're having. Yes. Second year, hopefully it's earlier.
Yeah.
You look forward to mango slices, strawberry slices, which would be great for your breakfast, your breakfast cereal, and all that. So we have a few. But also want to dive into the local aspect of preservation, where you're looking at mustard leaves, you're looking at pumpkin leaves, you're looking at okra leaves.
Nandi, this is a huge industry, really, that you've tapped into, and definitely we can see the impact in job creation, social impact, also reducing issues of, food waste as well. But we have to go to a commercial break. I hope you're loving this discussion, talking to our young man who walked away with 20 million kwacha from the competition. What will you do with 20 million kwacha? But we're going to have to go to a short commercial break, and we'll see you right after this. You're watching 21st Generation.
Okay.
So, welcome back to the 21st Generation, where youth issues matter the most. So, we have been talking to Nandi, the young man who walked away with 20 million kwacha with the Entrepreneurship Challenge, a national entrepreneurship challenge that happened this year called What Will You Do with 20 million kwacha. So, we've been talking what this whole platform was all about. So, we hear Malawi Innovation Hub and Lilongwe Pitch Night and other partners like Her Liberty came together for this entrepreneurship challenge that called the public to apply for this platform if they had a business idea that could address different social issues and also create jobs for the country. And applications came in, people were shortlisted, finalists pitched their ideas, and one person walked away with 20 million kwacha. Nandi in studio.
Thanks again.
Doing an amazing project or business idea, business plan called Go Loco Production. So for those who've been watching, we heard Nandi that he wants to resolve issues about food preservation. And we're looking forward to products like tomato puree. Eddie, there's no tomato puree in Malawi, but we're looking forward to that,
Malawi tumafuna ndio zokata
mina zokata mina And what we love about it is that, like he said earlier, that there's so much food wastage in terms of goodie in the market. Tomato akapisha 1 billion instead of goodie kuola, preserving it, processing it, and turning it into a good product of still good use. Right. So I know there's going to be other products coming out of it, and we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, please do.
But
please do. Okay.
Nandi, I think we want to know you a bit more because I feel like there's just something so amazing about your story and your journey that those watching could just be so inspired about and could learn so much from as well. I think with young people and 21st generation, what we try to do is ensure that young people achieve what is on their heart, whatever they want to do, to go for it. And you did that, right?
Yeah, no,
you did it.
You can say.
With all the risks there, you still went for it. You didn't study agriculture, but you still went for it. No. But I wanna hear more about that.
Okay.
Because these days, being a young person at home and your parents say, go be a doctor. And then 2 years, you're like, no, I don't want to be there anymore. Most people give up, and they're like, this is it. I don't want to do anything. But how did you manage to go there, stop, try this, stop, without giving up?
That's a good question. In fact, it's a good way to put it. What happened to me was like what happens to a whole of young adults. Because I must have been around 20 then when I left the medical training. What was very evident was that inner core feel I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
There's something else I should be doing.
Yeah.
So it started from that, and of course I could say it has been costly because having to start and switch and start and switch. But thankfully, I found mature individuals who were able to coach me. And one of the things that I learned during that time was to be coachable. And once you've answered that call, that inner call, because to be fair, I'm a spiritual man on one hand, and I believe that God puts this program in you.
Yeah.
Now your duty is to discover that program.
Yeah.
It's okay leaving it to others to discover it for you, but you will not discover it any better unless you do it on your own. So it's been, like I said, about 10 years to discover that.
Wow.
And now I can sum it up to you and say my passions are in food, health, and travel. I love to travel.
Wow.
So when I talk of health, it's also talking of working with other people. I've shared this, and we lost our son last year to malaria.
Sorry about
that. It was something that took us by surprise, as you can imagine. We never thought it would happen to us, because you just think, I've had malaria, you've had malaria, and we all come around.
Yeah.
But then through all that, you will find that the figures are not good for sub-Saharan African countries like Malawi. Now, a big part of our company is also supporting those initiatives in order to reduce malaria deaths in the lives of our children. So, which you will find within our business model, we have a percentage that goes towards our chosen charity. But coming back to what you were saying is that you need to find that thing that makes you tick. That is part of your, your program. And thankfully, we found that. And one of the lessons through that is it's a calculated risk. It's not you being careless. It's you going for it in life. and us applying was going going for it in life.
Yeah.
We never knew how it's going to pan out. I would have never imagined sitting here with you, in this big studio, and with all the lights and the powder. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Sure.
You know, I'm hearing you share, and it's really moving, and I'm sure those who are watching can really just pick up something from you that a lot of us tend to miss out. That inner calling, really, that there's something within us that we all want to do, but sometimes fear, holds us back.
Yes, it does.
And for you to really have overcome that. And even though it took 10 years, you were still pushing on to what was inside and what you really wanted to do, which is really powerful. And I think that's something to really encourage those who are watching, that if you are at that place, and there's something you still wanted to, go for it. If he could do it and walk away 20 million kwacha, what would happen with you and the opportunities that are there for you with what you want to do?
That's correct.
And, just hearing your story about your son, and a lot of people, when it comes to issues of loss, they haven't dealt with it the way you have as well. But that's also another thing that has brought so much light, and even with the work that you're doing and who you are, having to take that situation that was so painful and what you went through, but bring it to a greater good for Malawi as well.
For Malawi.
Saying that this happened, and it's also a call and a call to action, in the country, saying that we're losing a lot of people in issues around malaria. And being a private corporate, a limited company, saying, hey, we still want to do something for charity. And, companies that are out there in Malawi, and even those who own companies and businesses watching this, it's always that call for corporate social responsibility. Yes, you can make your money, you can make the impact, you can create jobs, but the greater good comes to when you're helping others in community with their issues and the social issues they're facing as well. So, Nandi, it's amazing to hear that. And
thank you.
As we're talking, 21st generation really likes to focus a lot on youth issues. So you're from Malawi.
Very much so. Born in Lilongwe. Home village Zomba. Like you said, settled in Mzuzu. So very much Malawian.
Yeah, very much.
You cut me up, you see Malawi coming out.
So growing up, we're dealing with a lot of youth issues, right?
Yes.
Tell me one, and tell me how we can solve it. Because, with 21st generation, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to meet these young leaders and young people doing amazing things. But at the same time, we need to work together to address these solutions, right?
Very much so, yes. To answer that, of course, firstly, youth unemployment. It's well documented. So much talked about. Of
course, you talk about youth unemployment because you're the man behind entrepreneurship.
Of course.
And 20 million kwacha, yes.
Now look at the mindset of my fellow youth today. They will not hold down a job for 5 years. I'm pushing it to 5 years, 2 years. Now, most of them have plans, have ideas. Now, if we could push our youth towards entrepreneurship, and I think having more of these sort of initiatives, the initiatives that you're on, this will push that gap. And rather than just talk of unemployment, let us help our youth create business. There's so much great. There's so many great ideas. You saw what came to the final. The people that were left, even in the top 20.
It was amazing. It was a tough competition as well.
Yes. But now the challenge, as is with many of my colleagues, is funding the ideas or being able to receive mentorship, because we have this fear, as you mentioned. It's fear. My plan is not good enough. It doesn't sound great enough. But be around. Like-minded people. I've benefited that. I've benefited from, let's say, MHAP and the incubation process. The pitch training process, to then discover what was hidden underneath all the, mud around the idea. They were able to bring that out and present it the way we presented it on the final. Now that applies to many of my young, fellow Malawians out there, that they have these great ideas, but they need a hub or hubs where they can polish that rough diamond.
That support system, yes.
Exactly. So, so this is a call out, of course, to the government. Of course, they're doing initiatives, but they need to be more accessible. It's only until I got involved with this challenge that I'm able now to see that there's a lot more out there that youth like myself can tap into.
unemployment is a huge issue. And like you said, it also starts, we had a few other young leaders on the show who talked about, starts at home. So it's the home, and how the parents are talking to the children in terms of, you can do this, you can get into entrepreneurship as well. So getting them to also feel like they can get into stuff. And then you go into the school system.
Of course.
So we need the teachers and we need the curriculum as well to accommodate entrepreneurship training, not just reading and understanding the theoretical part of it, but the training of it, right? And then when you get out, we should have opportunities where funding, is accessible for people with brilliant ideas that actually contribute to economic growth.
Socio-economic growth of the country.
Yeah. So, with what you're saying, 21st generation, like we said, you're
21st generation.
Yes, you're number 9. Okay. Number 9 out of 1 million people.
It's not my favorite number, but I'm happy to say that.
But you're still part of this list where we're trying to reach 1 million people to basically contribute to like 100 kwacha to raise a 1 million kwacha youth fund, right? A fund that can go into what you're saying, entrepreneurship and different initiatives. So what do you think of it?
You know what? Never mind what I think. I think it's great.
It's great?
It's great. I'll stay on that path.
Yeah.
I think number 9, so you're down to 900.
So now we've got 991,000 people to go. Yeah.
Not long. But coming back to what you shared earlier is the numbers. The numbers. I'm sure down the line you reach your fund way before even 100,000. Yeah. But to reach 1 million Malawians would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So the best with that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. And we're happy to hear his commitment to be number 9 in our campaign towards our youth fund. But all in all, we would love to hear from you. And I know the viewers would want to hear from you as well. Okay. But what you want to say to them in terms of your last words, because sadly we have come to the end of the show. So we would want to hear what Nandi has to say to people in Malawi.
Okay. My fellow Malawians, I'll just sit here humbly and proudly say this to you. Never stop believing. That's the key. Never stop believing. Once you've set up what it is that you want to do in life, get the support. Be coachable. Be willing to learn. And most especially, trust that inner calling. Because within that, you have the solution for other people. Now, with us here at Loco, we aim to reach out to as many people as we can, because we know in so doing, if we help enough people get what they want, we'll get eventually what we want and need in life. So, again, I'll say to you, never stop believing. Bring ideas out. Get in touch with this show. Get in touch with some of the people that I have been on, which are great places to start. Build on that idea and never wait for it to be perfect. It's never perfect. You can work on that rough diamond and eventually, it will shine. So that's the message to you. Yeah.
Spoken so powerfully from the young man shining with 20 million kwacha. As he said it in studio on 21st generation, never stop believing. There's something amazing inside of each and every one of you, just waiting, and people waiting for you to unleash this idea that would have an incredible impact on Malawi and the society and on the economy. But never stop believing and unleash that idea.
Unleash it.
So, until next time on the 21st generation, where youth issues matter the most, with your host, Tikhala Itaye. See you next time.
Thank you.